This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.
Good morning and welcome to Halas Report. We are live. I am live. So hey, it's been a while, guys. Was on a cruise for a bit, so I'm a little behind the power curve, but doesn't look like much went on last week. So crap. We'll get into what hasn't happened. Trying to save something here. Give me 1 second. There we go. It looks like still no Keenan Allen. We did get a new receiver. So that's good. Offensive line is still what it was when I left. So yeah, what's been going on, guys? Hopefully Broski's around or Woody had some stuff to do. So yeah, come back from a cruise a week after not seeing anything, and oh look, why don't we do live? Yeah, no one said I wasn't crazy. However, I do have something new for you guys. I'm about to load it up right now. 1 second. No, it's already up here. All right, here we go. We'll run this, see what we get.
Welcome to the Huddle Sports Network on Roku and Fire Stick. This is the first place to find all the latest NFL news, trades, and rumors. If you have a Roku or Fire Stick, access your menu and locate the search bar to perform a channel search. Then simply type in Huddle Sports Network. After completing the search, this logo should appear. Then add to your menu and you're good to go. We cover all your football needs from breaking news to trades and rumors. So join us and enjoy the sport we learn to love so much. So be sure to add Huddle Sports Network to your Roku or Fire Stick menu and keep informed of all your football news and needs. You can also find us on Facebook and of course YouTube. Thanks for supporting our journey and our passion for football.
Yeah, we'll go on vacation for a week, come back, and have some new TV commercials. Not bad. Did a little cruise, got out of Dodge for a bit. A little break from football and from all the insanity that is everything else out here. Little break from that. Hopefully Mike the Bear fan will show up here in a minute too. That'd be nice. So the Bears really didn't do much while I was gone, right? We picked up a new returner. And that I just lost his name. But looking cap space wise, if I go to over the cap, right now we're doing pretty decent. We got about $14 million cap space. I think 14 or 16. Check it real quick. Not to make a liar out of myself. There we go. 16 million left. That's with everyone with all the current contracts. So are the Bears done? Are we going to do anything else? Is Keenan Allen now? Are we done? Are we not going to go after a couple other free agents. One guy I'd still like to see the Bears sign, who's still a free agent, was on the roster last year, is Matt Pryor. I would love to see Matt Pryor. We paid him like $1.175 million last year. Like, give him like $1.5 million, good depth on the line. I think he would add. He's value added for sure. He definitely came in, played some big ball for us last year. We need depth. We still need depth on the line. The starting lineup right now is looking pretty good. I'll pull that up for you guys. You guys can actually see it. I'm just going to show the trenches to start here. Looking pretty good. I mean, the trenches actually don't look bad. I'm kind of happy with it. This also happens to be awesome. How do I do this? There. All right, here we go. Sharing this. So yeah, you look at this is the starting line right now. Offensively, defense. So here's our starting defense. With Jarrett now in there, and we're gonna put his name. Oh, hold on, someone's joining us, and it's welcome, Broski Bear. Thank you, Broski.
How you doing, Ken? Good to see you.
Yeah, coming off the cruise ship, and I'm like solo, and I've been gone for a week, haven't really seen anything that's been going on. So I'm like, okay, well, I see we added a receiver. After that, it was like I haven't really seen much else that we've done. We really didn't do much while I was gone, did we?
No, the only thing they did, they signed a good kick return, punt return guy, that Devin Duvernay.
Duvernay, yeah.
But that's about it. I mean, it's pretty quiet. Like I said, I think they're going to take some time and go through contracts and get all the paperwork situated, and then see where they're at, see who else they might need to cut, who else they might need to restructure to free up some cap space, and I think they're just gonna focus now on going to pro days and getting the scouting in and player interviews and stuff like that.
Well, we re-signed Travis Homer too. That happened.
Yep, Travis Homer's back. Yep, that's true. I was surprised to see that, by the way.
Well, yeah, I don't know how much they paid him. Let me see if I can pull up his contract.
Yeah, I don't think it was too much.
No, and like I was just opining before you came on, like, why haven't we signed Pryor? He's like not even cost $2 million. Like 1.4 million, 1.3 million gets it done, right? Yeah. They have no money on.
Yeah.
Yeah, no money for us. I'm sure the Homer contract's like right around $1 million.
It's $2 million. $2 million.
$2 million? Okay.
Yeah.
And they could probably do the same with Pryor. I mean, because when I look at the Bears depth-wise, like on the O-line, we still need depth.
Certainly.
It's like, I mean, look at the starting lineup of Jones, Tooney, Dahlman, Jackson, Wright sounds great. Oh, we re-signed another guy too.
Doug Kramer.
Kramer, yeah. Kramer, we re-signed. He's a center.
I was highly disappointed in that, by the way. Duvernay, Travis Homer, Doug Kramer.
Oh, and a long snapper. We signed a long snapper.
Scott Daly's locked in.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, I would have been. I'm not. I know you probably not. You weren't happy about the Kramer re-signing, but you know what? Kramer's not an old dude, is he?
He's not old. This is his fourth season, I think. number 4 coming up. This is going to be his 4th year. Always injured. Like, what is he really? Like, he's not a center. They try to line him up in the backfield. It was the most disgraceful act of someone lining up in the backfield I've ever seen in my life. It was horrendous. I didn't ever want to see him in a Bears uniform again, but here we go. He's back in the mix. I still think they're going to draft a center. Now it's going to be with the 5th or one of the 7th round picks, but they will, because Kramer's not a NFL caliber center. Ricky Stromberg, I mean, he's a guy who probably would have been a good NFL center if he didn't get injured, but his injury seems like it might be too much for him to ever overcome. We'll see. Ryan Bates and Bill Murray are the 2 backups at guard. So at least at guard, you have two two guys as of now. It's like, it could be a lot worse. I mean, they're backups.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop this up on the.
Yeah, they need a backup tackle. They need to get a left tackle in, and there's rumors. So I think one thing you might have missed this week, there has been a lot of rumors that the Bears are going to look into upgrading from Braxton Jones, and that they might be doing that through the draft. They might actually target a left tackle in the first or second round at the latest.
I mean, we've talked about that though here, and I just popped up on the screen. I'm not sure if you can see it, but this is what we have right now on the roster for PFF. And I just did from center to tackle. So I mean, we've got two centers on the roster. We got a couple guards. I mean, we got more guards than I thought we did at the tackle. So I mean, but I look at this list. I'm like, who the hell is Chris Blazer really? Bill Murray, fan favorite last year, had a couple moments. Okay, fine, maybe he'll grow into something. But he's not a young guy. I mean, drafted in 2020. Kramer's a guy out of U of I. Okay, 22, drafted in 22. So okay, he should start coming to his own. Jordan McFadden, Bates, I know it's a question mark. And looking at him, I like the Stromberg, young guy. Theo Bennett, big young guy.
Ken, your audio's chopping up.
It's more of my internet than my equipment.
Oh, okay.
Kieran, I mean, we obviously we just drafted him, so he needs time. Miles, man, this guy's been around since 2019. It's like he's been bouncing around practice squad to practice squad. When I look at this list of guys, I'm like, I'm happy with the starting five. After that, I'm like, if there's an injury, dude, it's not going to be good.
Yeah, especially if the injuries at tackle or center. Like that's where it's going to get really, really dicey. I think we're both hoping that Kieran becomes like a kind of like a better version of like Larry Borum, like a good swing tackle. Like he's the first tackle to go in if either Braxton or Darnell Wright go down. But that being said, they need more than that. You know what I mean? Like they need to draft a tackle somewhere in this draft.
Well, I mean, and I look at last year, for his one start. I mean, that was a hell of an assignment he got against Minnesota. He came out and said what he said, and he got. I don't mind that he said what he said and got schooled because he should have that no fear, I'm good, swagger about him. I'm okay with it.
He's a rookie. It's tough for any rookie to do good, especially like a quarterback or a cornerback or a left tackle. It's tough. It's really tough for those guys.
I mean, we know he's a smart kid. Look where he went to school.
I was just gonna say that. Like he's a smart guy. He probably is gonna learn from that experience.
Yeah. I think he'll be okay over the next 2 years or so. The draft for me is so wide open. I'm just like,
who knows?
Since the frenzy started, I know we've talked about it on the morning show. We've talked about it here. The running. Oh, it's going to be a running back. Oh, it's going to be a left tackle. Yeah.
Oh, they're going to go by like their most needed position. Oh, they're going to go best available. Oh, they're going to go, with just like the highest position paid player kind of thing. Like they'll take a wide receiver because they get paid a lot, or a left tackle, or who knows. They could go anyway.
There's some legitimacy to that kind of idea, though, if you think about it, because now you mentioned it, the money that receivers go for.
That's Ken, I've been saying it, and I've been creeping this into people's minds like the last week or week and a half, and I think now people are starting to understand the philosophy behind it. And plus, if you look at it too, this is not like a strong wide receiver draft for like the high end, like top tier talent. Like you don't have like a Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. Although I do think Ibuka could be pretty freaking good. I think he's hands down by far the best.
Even with that, though, I mean, even like second tier guys are going for a boatload of money, And it's like, we said it before I left. Maybe we get a third receiver, and now our receiving room is locked up for 4 years.
Hey, if the Bears took Ibuka at 10, I would not be upset. I'd actually be thrilled. I'd be like, dude, they just got a 6'1" receiver who runs a 4.3 40 who played at Ohio State. He's NFL ready. He has a high ceiling. He's proven it. He's played in the big games. He's done it in the big games, like in college. He's played the top competition. Like this guy's ready. I'd be thrilled. Like there's a lot of guys at 10 though I'd be thrilled with right now. I definitely have my list of guys I would be very disappointed if they drafted, but there's a ton of guys I'd be thrilled with at 10.
Let's see what people think the Bears need are. Go to the mock draft. What are they saying our needs are? Because that's what's interesting. It's like every year coming into this. Oh, okay. What is the same link it always is? I'll send it to you though. Hold on. I'm sorry. Now I'm multitasking. You know how hard it is for me to multitask. An old dude. It's been quarterback. It's been obvious what the need is. So you go to your draft. Well, the Bears need X. What do the Bears really need this time? Like,
I mean, as of right now, I mean, I still think. I mean, it's risky with our safety room. We really don't have a proven pass rusher other than Montez Sweat either. We really don't have a true reliable third option at receiver to throw to. And in my opinion, like if DeAndre Swift goes down or Roschon goes down, like what are you going to do? Roll out there with Roschon and Travis Homer at running back, or DeAndre Swift and Travis Homer at running? You know what I mean? Like that looks really bad, really quick, really quick. So, they're looking to upgrade Braxton Jones. So it's like left tackle and D-end. Those are always like, and wide receiver. Those are like the three premier, you know what I mean? Like prime time.
We can get a running back in the second or third and probably fill that.
You can get a running back in the fifth. Like you can get running backs way late in this draft. But yeah, I'm just throwing out like, just kind of when I look at like, it's really risky. Like Byard, hell of a season last year. He's 32, something like that. It's his last year of his contract, and I don't think it's also the last year of Elijah Hicks' contract. It's the last year of Jonathan Owens. He just got re-signed for 1 year. And Brisker, who knows if he's even playing this year or if how many games he will play. So safety is safety could, if Brisker's healthy this year, his safety could be really good, but there's a chance that it could go south quick for the safety room. So I don't think you spend a firster. I think you can get a starting caliber safety in the third round, or second or third round. You don't have to use the 10th overall on a safety or, necessarily either of the 2 second round picks. I think third round you could probably get a guy who can come in and play.
Actually, here's what's interesting now you speak of it. Okay, here are the strong safety / safety. Kevin Byard, free agent 2026. Brisker, free agent 2026. Owen, free agent 2026.
Yep, exactly.
Various more, free agent 2026.
Elijah Hicks.
Al Cook, free agent 2026. Yeah, that is the entire safety room. Yep. The entire safety room will be free agents at the end of the year. Good morning, Woody.
Woody.
You guys hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Ooh, what a show. What a show. Car show, Lehigh Valley show. Let's go. I have a fucking rhymer, aren't I?
Ooh. Give that man a recording time.
Yep.
Wow. Gave out all my business cards. We're good to go. Whew. So what's going on?
The entire safety room goes into free agency at the end of the year. The entire safety room.
Yeah, and I think the idea is to at least get one guy in. But, you don't want to wait until it's a dire need and you need two. Like get one in now and then one in next off season.
I mean,
Yeah.
you figure Brisker's going to get. Well, look at Brisker. Probably they'd like to extend it, but now with the injury, I don't know. That's tough.
I feel the same way about our tight ends as well.
I'll tell you what, I'm with you, Woody. Like this is a surprisingly good tight end draft class. Also, there's some really good tight ends in the class. Really
the entire tight end room will be okay. The tight ends for next year. You should mention that class group too. Outside of Cole Kmet, who's signed through 2028, everyone else in that tight end room, and there's 4 of them. Well, Cole Kmet's 28. Durham Smith is a free agent in 26. Steven Carlson's a free agent in 26. Joel Wilson, free agent in 26. And Jordan Murray, free agent in 26. So the entire room is a free agency next year, except for Cole Kmet.
Yeah, and there's
so Broski. Here's the question, because I'm a little iffy about this. Since we're in need of a tight end, because we don't know what's going to happen with Kmet next year. Since we have all these picks, do we trade up to get Warren if needed?
I think honestly, I think this might be one of those like maybe the first time ever for Poles. He doesn't really. I don't think he's trading any. I think he's going to stay at 10. I think he's going to stay with both his second round picks and third round pick, and he swings the deal for like a 6th round pick with the 5th round pick or something like that. But I think he's staying put with the first 4 picks, because I think they're just in a really good spot to get whoever falls to him.
Because here's the other thing is that I know it's Jameis Winston with the Giants signing Winston. I think they should still draft a quarterback at their pick, but since they picked up Winston, their draft is going to be different, and we'll see what they do. They need a tight end as well.
Interesting thing. So I just hopped on PFF's mock draft simulator. You know how much I love these.
No, it's just a team sport, but go ahead.
Yeah, I love these PFF mock drafts.
Me too.
So
I love them.
So they had, and I just real quick did a first rounder stopped at the Bears, so we could see the first 9 picks and what one of the situations. First thing is they say the Bears need a running back, defensive line, and safety. So so we kind of talked about that. This draft went Shador number 1 to Tennessee, Cam Ward number 2 to Cleveland, Mason Graham.
Wow.
To the Giants, Travis Hunter at corner to New England. Jacks take Abdul Carter edge. Will Campbell goes to the Raiders. Ashton Genty to the Jets.
Wow.
Jed down to the Carolina. Jihad Campbell, linebacker to Bama, and we're on the clock, and we have Tyler Warren sitting right there. McMillan is sitting there.
McMillan.
You got
Hey, Brodsky, did you do your homework? Did you see McMillan's catches and shit?
I did. I watched McMillan film. I watched a lot of wide receiver film on the top wide receivers, even some of not the top wide receivers.
And Starks is there too, by the way. Safety.
Like McMillan's talented, but receivers like him, like you don't know, like they kind of tend to struggle in the NFL right away, because he's so tall. He's not a route runner. Like those guys struggle to like get into their routes and get off the line going into the NFL. And plus, he played at the Big 12 in Arizona, so he wasn't really. They don't play defense in the conference either.
I did a mock draft, and I actually have Genty. One mock draft, I have Genty going to New England, like because Rabel with his running backs, he loves them. That's what they did in Tennessee. And my second one is that I have Dallas trading up with us to get Genty. So I don't fucking know why even running backs a need, because and me and Ken were talking about this last week. Swift, 959 yards last year with that terrible offensive line. Imagine what he can do with a good offensive line. So Bears fans, just fucking relax and chill. with
I
Swift.
mean, but with this is one mock draft of the millions that have been run. But I mean, Tyler Warren in this mock draft is there at 10. So I mean, here's the question with those guys, with McMillan, Warren, and Malachi Starks, and actually, the guy, the wide receiver from Ohio State, Amika, how do you say his name?
Abuka.
Machuka Matui.
Yeah, those guys are all still available at 10. So which one would you want to take at that point?
I would take Warren. We could pick now. I want to know the last time the Bears have to pick the best available player. That's what I'm talking about. The last time. Now, with our tight end situation or safety, I don't see Bears picking up a safety at 10. We have Mercedes Lewis. We have Komet, which we don't know what we're going with him. Now, Smythe, he's a blocking tight end.
Right.
We need a receiving. Now, I was hoping Everett would, work out for us. I like Everett when he was at the Chargers. But if Warren's there, you take him. Most athletic guy in the draft.
The tight end room right now is Cole Kmet, Durham Smythe. Both are.
And Carlson.
Yeah, I was going to get there.
Okay.
Smythe, both are Notre Dame guys. One's more of a catcher, one's more of a receiver. Got it. And then you got Carlson right now is a third guy. But then when you go to the safety room, dude, they're all free agents next year. Every single one of them.
Yeah, but this is what I want to say. Let me say this about Komet. The Bears can get out of his contract after this season. Just the same thing with Tremaine Edmonds. So, the Bears can literally get out of both contracts after this year. I don't know if they're going to want to pay Komet that much after this season. His price is a very real possibility that they go.
Komet's price is actually cheaper next year, if I remember correctly. Let me double check that for you real quick.
It could be. But I'm just saying there is an out in his contract after the season. You know what I mean? So they can get out of it.
Is, but I mean, and that doesn't. Let me see. Yeah, he's got a potential out. There's a potential out that would give 3.2 in dead. His price tag goes down from 9.9 to 8.9, so he's $1 million cheaper next year. But that being said, you could go really with the Raiders last year. Yeah, well, yeah, but that tight end put up some big numbers, and that's the thing. It's if you look at the safety room, the tight end room, you can go really. You can see both those rooms need bodies that are going to be here more than a year, because right now those two rooms in their entirety, minus Cole Komet, are all free agents.
Yeah, and the thing is too, I think this tight end room you're going to get, just going into the draft a little bit, there's some really nice tight ends. You can sit and get there in round 2 or round 3. Guys who can come in and probably be as good, if not better, than Komet.
And Bowers, you can't compare Bowers to Warren. Warren's just a tough fucking son of a bitch.
Yeah,
Bowers, he can line up as a wide receiver. They both can. Warren reminds me of Kittle. He can line up everywhere. He's a tough son. He can bull. If you watch his highlights against Notre Dame in that playoff game, I would take him just from that game.
I watched him all season. He's an incredible, very unique player. I
wish he was in a different college, but whatever. It is what it is.
What I was going to say, there's another guy who reminds me. So Warren kind of just, I don't know what he reminds me of. He's kind of like his own thing. But Mason Taylor, the kid out of LSU, he's Jason Taylor's son. Remember the defensive end, Jason Taylor?
Yeah.
That's his kid. So the other guy's 6'5", 255 pounds, runs like a 4.6 40. So he actually reminds me of Kittle, and he's projected. He's going up the charts, but he's 3rd round, creeping into the 2nd round now. I mean, if the Bears got him if I were the Bears, and I love Warren, I'm a Penn State guy, I'd probably take Abuka, because I think Abuka is the only true number 1 wide receiver in this draft. He runs a 4.3. He played at Ohio State. He's going to be NFL ready, has a high ceiling. Put him in the slot, 2nd round, maybe I'm looking at Mason Taylor and getting possibly a George Kittle in the 2nd round. And just loving life, it seems like they might actually be able to get a nice left tackle from all the rumors coming out this week in the 2nd round as well. or whatever they seem to do. My point is like there's some really good tight ends. This is a deep tight end draft actually. Most people aren't talking about that yet, but it is.
You know, you
But
look at
he like I said, if he's there at 10, he's probably the best player available that we. It's a best player available and a need. I thinking we pick him up.
Dude, if they got Tyler Warren or Buka at 10, either way, I'm thrilled. Like that's a freaking knockout pick. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, like you're not going wrong with either one.
Hopefully, we don't trade him away like we did Olsen.
I'm warming up to the idea of going tight end with the pick though, because I think
I'm glad I warmed you up, Ken.
Yeah, you go with Warren. You go with Warren. I was just warming the truth. You go with Warren and Komet, and that really does a couple things for the Bears, right? One, it lets you know, do I need to exercise the out next year, as Broski's alluded to? Because like you could just say, well, look, I can now replace that money with Warren, but now you still need your tight end 2, your tight end 3, or you realize I've got a great duo here. The problem on Warren, he doesn't have the best blocking grade, but Komet's gotten very good at blocking, throughout his years. That's all he's been doing. But
I've heard other people say that.
You could end up with a really, really good tight end duo, and now you're set for at least 2 years that you can, like, even if you don't exercise yourself out of Komet, after 28 season, you can let Komet go, and you still got 2 more years of Warren before you have to exercise a 5th-year option, but now you've given yourself more time to develop other younger tight ends you take later in the draft. I mean, that becomes an interesting scenario for the Bears, which really sets them up better for the long term. For the short term, it's not as sexy. Like, JoJo, he's like, dude, I'm not taking a tight end. I'd be disappointed. But if you think of the long term for the Bears, it sets us up. It's a good setup. Look what we did to wide receiver position. We've got our 2 top targets signed for the next 4 years, right? In essence. We've got a quarterback for the next 4 years, in essence. I mean, granted, the last year is their 5th-year option. They're going to
sure about that?
But, yeah, I'm more sure than I was with Fields or Trubisky. But, I mean, if you look at the way it is, though, if you look at the way Foles is layering this team, he's all about setting himself up for the long term while improving now, but setting up for the long term. Drafting Warren makes sense in that model. Drafting another wide receiver makes sense in that model. Genty doesn't make sense to me still, just because I'm kind of buying with Broski himself, and he's not NFL ready, and I can get good running backs in the 2nd, 3rd, 4th, 5th round.
Absolutely, man. I agree with what you said there. The only thing I disagree with is the Warren thing. I've watched him play every game. I actually think he's an excellent blocker. Like, you can find highlights of him driving linebackers like 20 yards downfield out of the end zone, like out into their own like team on the sidelines. Like, so those grades are kind of subjective. It's like what determines if you lost or not on block. But all I'm saying is this: I do agree with your overall what you just said. Like, tight end or wide receiver at 10 actually would make a lot of sense, especially considering you can get a running back in the 5th round and probably have him make the team and be like a really good player, possible starter in the future, So
here's just comparable. And the run block rate isn't terrible. It's a 52.8, which is actually a shade below the median line, right? So he's there. His contested catch rate, 61.9%. Drop rate, 2.8%. Receiving grade, 93.4, right? Which is astronomical. Yards per route run, 2.78, which is astronomical. The guy was targeted 135 times last year, had 104 receptions for 1,230 yards and 8 touchdowns, playing for Penn State.
And he ran for touchdowns. He ran the Wildcat. Like, that guy did everything, man. Like, you should see his run. You should see him run. Like, people will be like, "Oh, he can't run. He looks goofy. He only runs a 4.64 or something." And it's like, I'm not saying he's like blazing speed, but if you watch the game, like, he's a very effective runner. Like, he's very athletic. Like, he can turn the ball, like cut up field and like turn it upfield and go around the end, and you know what I mean? Like, dude's a beast, man.
Yeah, I would not be disappointed with that. I mean, but it's ironic that a month ago it wasn't even a consideration for us. It's got to be off the line. It's got to be off the line. And now it's like, no, tight end makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, at this car show, Broski, I didn't get his name though, but he's the starting center for Penn State right now.
Oh,
I was talking to him, and he's like, "You guys need a center, right?" Because I said I was a Bears fan. I was like, "No, we got Dahlman. We're good. Good luck. What you do."
wow. I was going to say, like, the kid who so they had a guy start last year. He was like a first-year starter, but he's been in the program. It was like his 4th year. Played really well. Supposedly he's got a good chance of getting drafted after only being a starter for 1 year. I don't know like currently who their center is because like they keep going pretty quick. But but yeah, that's cool, man. That's
You know what though, if that guy is maybe he's worth a 5th round pick though.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I could see him drafted. Like they're gonna draft a center. They have to because they don't really have a backup center right now. Ryan Bates is not a center. Doug Kramer is just a pile of garbage that they signed. Like I don't know why he's on the roster. You know,
he's a fullback.
Yeah, someone needs.
It was Caleb Williams fumble that play. Don't worry.
I'll tell you what.
Here's what they have the Bears listed for centers. Drew Dahlman, of course. Ryan Bates, they have listed as a center on Spotrac. Chris Glasser, Ricky Stromberg, and Doug Kramer. That's your center room. By the way, all free agents at the end of this year, except for Drew Dahlman.
Yeah, and that's what I mean.
So that's
there's not one legit center that you just named right there. So it's like they really do need a backup. You know, fifth round pick, 7th round pick. That smells like a center to me. You know.
I mean, we got a couple rooms that you know, tight end, safety, that you got a lot of free agents coming up. And my question in the safety room now becomes with Brisker having missed 12 games last year with a concussion. Like, what's his projection now? Like, are we sticking with Brisker? Are we going to try to give him an extension, or are we looking now to draft safeties because that entire room? And look, I think Jonathan Owens has more than a fair shot again, either extended or signed at the end of next year with the Bears. He's been solid when he's played. He's made good plays. I mean, he hasn't been. But even Green Bay fans were like, they didn't hate him. They just didn't like him as a starter. And I get that, and I kind of agree with that a little bit. He's a great backup. He's not my everyday starter. I think he's the guy the Bears can resign for depth and will stay in Chicago as long as we'll give him contract. And I think that's fine. But, like, who's my starter going to be? Because my starters that's where my problem is right now. Like, right now, I got Brisker. Okay, great. But if Brisker goes, and if Brisker goes down, then what? And then I've got Byard, who's old as dirt, been in the league since 2016.
Yep.
You know, how much longer am I going to keep him around? I got a guy coming up in Alex Cook, who's drafted in 23. Okay, maybe, you know, Travarius Moore, he's been around since 18, hasn't done much. Elijah Hicks, okay. Some guys really like Hicks. He's not bad. Amir Speed out of Michigan State, drafted in 23. Okay, that's it. So, really, what are we doing? The safety room's another. That's why I can understand why they're saying it's an area of need, because you got one starter who's old, one starter who is a concussion away from being out for the whole season.
Concussion away from retirement, really. Like, who knows with Brisker, that guy.
And you've got a couple good backups. Like, I like Owens as a backup. I think he's a good rotation guy who gives you great play when he's in more times than not. He's value added. I'll leave it that way. I think he's value added, right? So
I mean, I was gonna say too. Like, I agree with what you're saying. And to that, like, they really need to focus on getting that free safety in there, because he's kind of like the captain of the, like, calling the defense back there and moving people around in the secondary. That's Kevin Byard's role right now. His backup's Elijah Hicks. Neither will be on the team next year. Brisker, at least he has a solid backup in Owens, right? And possibly Owens. Maybe they resign him next year as a backup, which I'm fine with. He's good for a couple spot starts and a good backup. You know what I mean? Yeah, they need to get that free safety. I think it's harder to find a true free safety than an in the box safety. I think you can find those guys much easier.
And Malachi Starks, he's probably one of the higher rated guys in the draft. The thing that about him though is like you look at his numbers.
I haven't really dove into the research on safeties yet. I will like to tell Woody there are two very good Penn State safeties in this draft.
Oh, here we go.
One of which, Kevin Winston, I would love. I mean, if the Bears drafted him, you might be able to get him in the third round. I mean, you have your safety for locked in for years. Free safety.
So Starks is a former 5-star recruit, right? He's been a playmaker in the SEC for 3 years. They say he's got a good football IQ, tackling and moving ability to play free, strong, and slot. He's not a rare athlete, but he's a starting caliber guy back into the back of the defense, but he's also a little bit on the short side. But he's a solid player.
Yeah, I mean, I'd rather have the guy who's 6'2", 205, runs a 4.4 40, like Kevin Winston, than the guy who's 5'11", and probably runs a little slower. Yeah.
I mean, his numbers aren't bad. He's at a 72.1 in coverage, an 85.6 in run defense. His missed tackle rate 8.1%, which is good. His forced incompletion rate's 9.8%. Average depth of run tackle 6.8. Okay. He's not bad. He had a good game. His best games last year were against Mississippi State, Texas, and Clemson. So, I mean, he's had some games where he stunk last year against the Gators. He had a terrible game. His first game against the Longhorns was terrible. His second game was better.
Yeah.
I know his first game was good. In the conference championship, he had a terrible game against the Longhorns. And then he had a good game against Notre Dame to finish out the year. But
hey Cam, look up Kevin Winston. What's it say about him?
That he plays in the Big Ten, and that's not a conference.
Woody, who's your college team?
Oh, the reason why I'm going to tell you, the reason why I like him, because my cousin was quarterback there, Jim Druckenmiller, and I had a full basketball scholarship there. So I'm a big Virginia Tech fan. So I know ever since Beamer Ball, we were downhill, but there is a disrespect that I have for Penn State is because they can play and beat community colleges, Akron, but they can't beat Ohio State or Michigan. Yes, they beat Iowa, big whoop, but until they start beating the bigger teams, do I think they should have been in that playoff? You don't want to ask me that, but until they start beating Ohio State, Michigan, blah blah blah, then I'll start respecting them. But with them playing these easy teams and beating them and not beating Michigan or Ohio State, then that's the reason. One of the reasons.
And I hear that. But I will say that like playing Penn State's schedule like is leagues above Virginia Tech's shitty ass ACC schedule. You know what I mean? That's some lightweight shit. I mean, and what really separates the SEC and Big Ten and the ACC is the trenches. Like the Big Ten and the SEC have the hogs, man. They have the guys in the trenches. ACC, you're going to find good skill position guys. You're going to find some quarterbacks, wide receivers, running backs, cornerbacks. The trenches is pretty much what separates them. But yeah, I mean, Penn State, they have to get over that hump. I mean, there's no excuse at this point. It's like, you are second tier until you can beat Ohio State or Michigan. That being said, Penn State year after year just pumps players into the NFL. Like they put players in the league year after year. Good players too. So, but we'll see. Anyway, Kevin Winston, what do we got?
What position is he?
Safety.
What's his position?
Safety.
Hold on, I'm having a hard time finding him. All right, I'm trying to. What? Devin Winston. There we go. PFF rank is 84 in this draft. 6'2", 208. He actually had a down year last year. His best year was his second. Let me see if I can pull up the draft profile here. Sometimes they don't have a lot on him, but they're Penn Stater. Come on.
Yeah, but you know, with him, I was just saying he'd be a good third-round pick, is what I was getting at.
Bottom line, Winston's tape and athleticism that he showed off in 2023 made him a prospect worthy of going in the first round. While his recent injury muddles his projection, he's still one of the top safeties available if he can fully recover. So injury stuff there. He's ranked 84 in the big board, so you can get him in the second, third round.
Yeah.
He'd be worth it there. He had a partially torn ACL after just 2 games last year.
Yeah.
But he was a first-round hype guy after his sophomore year. So, you could get him and get a bargain, if you will. Which Poles kind of is good at doing that with those guys. So that's a guy to watch. But could you imagine getting 2 Nittany Lions in the first 2 rounds? I mean,
I couldn't. I'm a Penn State person.
And Eagles.
But anyway, yeah, I mean, there's a lot of things the Bears can do, and I think it sounds like we're getting closer to like being on the same page too, Ken, with like what they really might actually go after in this draft. Like, yeah, safety is a huge, huge need. You really can't cover that up anymore. Like it's just like it's there.
The only thing is, I just don't know if the guy that's in this one mock if Malachi Stark is the guy you want, or if Tyler Warren's there, it's that question. Like, you don't need a tight end. However, you've got a guy that can change your offense with him, and if you can get this be taking 2 Nittany Lions in the draft, but then you can get this other guy from his school with your second round pick or a third round pick. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's some other bargains, because we always look at the top end guys, right? But we forget these guys like the one you just had me look at, right? Like Devin Winston Jr. We forget about guys like him. This dude was hyped and he fell off the radar because of injury, but now you can get him maybe in the third round or the third round. Actually, you can get him in the third round. We have 4 picks in top 73, 74. His big board rank is 84. Odds are he's there. Wouldn't be really a reach to get him. No one would say it's a reach. You can get 2 Penn Staters in the first 3 rounds, but you could have now this like really wicked tight end room. You could now shore up your safety room, and you don't have to put pressure on the kid. You can ease him into the year, but now you've got, like, if Brisker gets hurt, or if you solidify the safety room a little bit more. I mean, it's those second and third picks that we have, the 2 second rounders and the third rounders. Those are going to get interesting, but at the first round, I think the Bears might just go best available.
Yeah, and if Tyler Warren is there at 10. I mean, you can't tell me there's not going to be other teams calling the trade up, because there has to be a few teams, like maybe Miami, maybe the Colts. Maybe they're 13 or 14. They're like, damn, Tyler Warren, yeah, we want him. We'll trade up. And the Bears trade back to 13 or 14 or whatever, and then they take Ibuka there, or they take a safety there. Maybe they take Starks or whatever. Like, I'd be fine with that.
I mean, it does get interesting, and really, Tyler Warren, though, the more we talk about, the more it makes sense to me, because not only does he help fill a tight end need, he kind of fills that wide receiver 3 need too. Yeah. I think you see a lot of dual sets with him and Kmet back there, where he's actually acting more like the slot receiver than a tight end.
I mean, he lined up at wide receiver. He lined up at slot receiver. He lined up in the backfield. He lined up as a wildcat. He pretty much did everything. You could throw him. You could line him up at receiver and throw him a screen. You know.
I mean, definitely that would take the Keenan Allen talk and say, like, hey, it's been nice knowing you for good now. You know, right now there's still a possibility the Bears might try to re-sign him. But I think if they got Tyler Warren, that would kind of shut the door. Even though he's a tight end, it would make the need for Keenan Allen kind of like redundant.
Yeah, because you imagine him and Rome at within the 20-yard line doing one of those fades in the end zone. I mean, we got to do that more.
Yeah.
When we had Jimmy Graham, we thought he was going to do that as well. He did it a couple times, but that would be good to have a big guy that can just go up and get the ball, like a Alshon Jeffrey or Brandon Marshall.
And I'll tell you
what. So you got 4 threats right there between DJ, Rome, Cole, and then if we draft this kid, I mean, that's 4 big bodies you can put in the end zone with and just put the ball up.
And Tyler Warren, let me tell you, he made so many catches last year with someone draped all over him. Like he was just bullying people. Like, all right, you're all over me, and then he still makes like a one-handed catch. Or he's a stud.
Yeah, the yards after the catch too is what I look at.
Yeah,
and the way he's bouncing off people, it just amazes me when I watched that Notre Dame playoff game, and everybody was looking at him because he's their big offensive star, and he would still catch it and bull people over.
Well, if we take Tyler Warren, PFF would give us a B. Interesting.
I mean, if we take Tyler Warren, does that pretty much mean this is Cole Kmet's last season with the Bears?
I would not say that. I don't think I would say that. I think it would depend on how the season plays out because, look it. You're telling me if Ben Johnson has 2 tight end threats that he can use in multiple different ways and means that you wouldn't want to keep that? Because you keep Cole in the traditional tight end role and then run this kid out, like you said, put him out in the receiver slot, put him in a running back slot. I mean, I think just just run a traditional 2 tight end set. It really gives them so many different ways he can go with some plays right.
Yeah, Ben Johnson would love that. Like that's a dream come true right there.
We also got to think about, say, if Kmet gets hurt, so we have 2 blocking tight ends in there.
Yeah.
So that screws us. So that's what we got to look at. Even though Kmet not be on the team next year, we got to think if he gets injured this year.
Absolutely.
Well, I mean, we have Kmet for basically the 25, 26, 20 or through the 20 till 28. I mean, honestly, there's a lot of different ways they can go. They could cut him next year. Okay, I'm running another. And look, I just ran a second draft simulator, and Tyler Warren again is there, and so is Maliki.
That's fine. You know what that means, Ken? We're not getting Tyler Warren at 10.
Yeah. I'm warming up the idea because he gives you a third receiver slot. He gives you a running back option. He gives you a tight end option. And with Cole Kmet, look, we all know we've underutilized Kmet. I mean, the kid's an immense talent. We've seen huge flashes of it, and then they go away from it, which makes no sense. But I think if you match these 2 together, one of them is going to get it. And one's going to be more of a setup guy, but Kmet, man, he's come up with big plays in his career. He's relatively injury-free. He hasn't missed a lot of time to injury. I don't think he's missed almost any time to injury. I could see the Bears keeping him past this year if these 2 work out. If they were to go this route, it changes the wide receiving room dynamic. It really gives Ben Johnson this kind of like, I can make that running back. I can run 2 tight ends out there with Rome and DJ and Swift. I'm like, people say he's not high on Swift. I think Swift last year proved a lot of people wrong, as Woody said, with the yards he got with that offensive line and his home run hitting ability. Dude, that offensive skill position is like, damn. Now the only question is, you must address the safety position then in the second or third. You must.
Yeah, absolutely. And I could use that same kind of approach or whatever on the running backs. Also, like I said earlier, if DeAndre Swift gets hurt, I mean, you're running Roshan Johnson and Travis Homer out there. That's not the answer.
We'll see if they keep Ian Willer too. How healthy he'll be after his injury.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see, but
I'm good with Roshan. I think Roshan. We've just never gotten him going. We've never gotten him going, and then we tried to start getting him going late in the season. He gets the concussion, but from what we saw in his rookie year, it's like, if we can get this guy going, he's going to be solid. I still think that. I mean, his only injury is really been the concussion. No, that's not true. He had a hamstring, didn't he? At one point, I think he had another smaller injury.
Well, they used Roshan Wright last year with those 3rd and shorts, some goal line. That's where we should have used him his first year. But with Deontay Foreman in there and stuff like that, they used him wrong.
I mean, you got to use them to bust down the middle some too, so you can kind of break that up a little bit for Swift and kind of be the bruiser. But Broski's not wrong. We need another running back, but once again, we can get that in the 3rd or 5th round.
Absolutely, I'm a big fan of that. Like, and I remember telling Woody this like a month ago. I was like, dude, I'd probably just use the last 2 picks in the draft and just get 2 running backs and call it a draft. The tight end or wide receiver at 10 makes a lot more sense to me than a running back.
Yep.
Yeah, and here's the thing though. We still have to get. I'm still not happy with the offensive line depth, and we need to draft some depth in the line. I think that might come with the 2nd or 3rd pick. The edge, I know Deo. We've got everyone's like, this guy's perfect for what the type of defense we're going to run, and we've got a great backup we drafted last year. I don't know if that's going to be the total answer on the defensive line at the edge, but there's still trench work that needs to be done.
Yep, I agree.
But Tyler getting this kid. Yeah, I mean, he makes some sense. I mean, I don't know who else we're going to get. I mean, Abdul Carter will be gone. Graham will be gone. I hope Gentry's gone. I'm tired of hearing about that. If Will Campbell is there, if Will Campbell and Tyler Warner are both there, that could get interesting.
For me, I'm not really big on Will Campbell. I think the arm length thing is a huge issue, and I don't think you're going to draft Will Campbell to start him or to play him at guard since we already have Jonah Jackson and Tony. So what's the point of taking him there? That's kind of how I look at it. But
they have him listed as a tackle, not a guard.
Well, he played left tackle at LSU.
Yeah,
but they're everyone's projecting him to be a guard in the NFL. Because he's got those T-Rex arms. So, it's kind of like the kid from Northwestern last year.
Yeah, last year. Yeah, that's true. I thought I had the same thought.
Yeah, it's like he could be a really good player. Don't get me wrong, but he would be a starting guard. He wouldn't be a starting tackle. Bears, they don't need a starting guard right now.
Well, we're about out of time here, guys. So for Wednesday, everyone, give us your, think about this. Give us your thoughts on Wednesday. Who should the Bears draft at number 10? Should we go tight end? Should we go safety? Should we go receiver? What do you guys think? Let us know Wednesday. Broski, thanks for being here, brother. Woody, good to see you driving away from the show. Hope you had a great show.
Yeah.
I'm happy to be back on the cruise ship. Actually, I enjoyed the cruise ship. It's always nice to be back home.
Yeah, good catching up with you guys.
Yeah, definitely.
All right.
Don't forget, tomorrow morning we'll be here for Ken in the morning at 10 a.m. Central, 11 on the East. Everyone have a great Sunday. We'll see you later and bear down.
Bear down.
This is a Huddle Sports Network broadcast. You can find us on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Facebook, and of course YouTube. Get all your NFL news here first.